World of NRail, J.M. Gadori coming back at you, and today I am joined by Ray Chaffee. Ray is on the advisory board of the NRail organization, and we are coming to you today in front of the NRail table at the Amherst Model Railroad Show. And Ray is a special guest. We're going to spend some time with Ray today. First thing he's going to tell us is a little bit of the history of this show. Ray, go ahead. Tell us about it.
It actually started in a classroom in 1968 as a swap fest among members. We started off with after a meeting, and then it went to, I think, the second or third year, we ended up having a Saturday morning that people brought their junk, well, what their wives considered junk, to the meeting to get rid of. And to swap. It was a swap fest. It got so large in the classroom, we ended up with a couple vendors that we went into the student union building. Well, unfortunately, after about 3 years in student union, they were renovating in addition to the building. They came down here to the north of what's called the New England building on the far side of the property, and we were there for about 3 years and started growing.
So this just so you know, this property is in West Springfield, Massachusetts, and so this show, you're part of the Amherst Belt Lines,
and also the Northeast T-TRAK,
and the Northeast Region T-TRAK. So this experience that you're describing, what year was that you're describing?
Well, 1981, we moved down to the New England building, and I say we, a gentleman named Bob Buck from Warren, Massachusetts, was a one-man show that ran it. We moved in 3 years, expanded again, we moved into half of the Better Living Center. 2 or 3 years, the next year, the whole Better Living Center lasted about 3 or 4 years, expanded again into the Stroh building. Next door, again in a couple of years, into Young building, then half of this building, because there was no heat on this side. As soon as they got heat, they expanded here.
So bottom line, Ray, this show, since its inception, every year has just gotten bigger and bigger and more popular and more popular. What was the attendance count for one day of this show yesterday?
They were saying 11,950, and that is not counting kids. They do not count the children under the age of 13.
So paid attendance only was over 11,000 people yesterday.
Almost 12,000, and that's not counting the vendors here and the people with the layout.
Okay, you can go that way.
And it can get as much as another 3,000 people that support this show.
So Ray, it's no mystery why NRail, we chose this venue to be the kickoff for our celebration of 50 years.
Well, I got to claim credit for that as being an advisor to the board.
Yes.
I asked why, and John Bingle for the Northeast, for the Valley NTRAK of Connecticut, said, why don't we start NRail here? So I brought that to the board, and Bruce Alcott and John Wallace was the president, said, this is great, we'll start here.
That's terrific. So was there anything else that you wanted to tell us about this venue?
Well, right now they got a waiting list, and this is by invitation only for the vendors and for the layout. And so right now they've got a waiting list, and they try to rotate every 4 or 5 years, so you see something new.
All right, so if you're a vendor or you're an exhibitor and you're thinking, oh, I'm missing out on this huge event, yes, you are missing out, but there is a waiting list. You better have your name on it, and just count down the days until you can actually join us here. Otherwise, you can pay admission just like everyone else and enjoy it, a wildly popular show.
And this is the largest in the United States, about 11 acres. And their average, this weekend we'll probably do about, and I say we again because I'm one of the guys that sets up on Thursday. I've been here from Thursday at 6 a.m. And we'll do probably 22 to 23,000 people.
You gotta understand that there are 5 buildings, including the building we're in, which is called the Mallory. And then there's the Better Living Center, and there's the Young building. And what you need to know is
the Stroh building.
The Stroh building. And what's the 5th building?
The North Park. See, this was actually 2 buildings that were built.
All right, so they've just kept on expanding and expanding these buildings. So it's a fantastic venue. Ray, I want to transition now into what we've been asking every NTRAK member to give us a little bit of a backstory. What was the first time you ever saw an NTRAK module or layout?
Here,
It was right here.
I've only missed 6 shows in 54 years.
All right.
This is the 55th year, so I've only missed 6. So for here, they're over in the Better Living Center, the Northeast NTRAK had an exhibit set up. I said, well, how do I become a member? And fortunately, I was living in Connecticut, and the Valley NTRAK in Connecticut, which is the sponsor of this booth here. I joined, and that was about 2002 or 2003.
All right, so when did you become a model railroader?
I've been model railroading in, I had Lionel growing up, and then I did HO. I worked with fire departments. I have a degree in fire science administration that I teach fire chief, and I use HO as a training aid for tabletop exercise.
Oh yeah.
So we were able to, and the chiefs would bring their own fire trucks and stuff,
Right.
and I would have them, and I would model cities and stuff,
Right.
and make them do tight corners.
Let me correct the question then. When did you become an N-scale model railroader?
2002 when I saw him here.
2002. All right, so 2002 until 2023, you're basically 20 years in the hobby as an N-scaler. Okay, and the first time you saw an NTRAK module was part of Northeast and Valley NTRAK right here at this show.
In the Better Living Center.
In the Better Living Center. All right, so what impressed you about what you saw?
You could take it, and you could move it. It was just like my HO, but my HO was big compared to the M scale.
Okay, so portability was the chief option for you.
So what did I build? 30-inch by 6-foot module.
Okay. Where are those modules today?
My basement.
All right, so they're part of your home layout?
No, they're not being used anymore because I have a very large, I have 36 modules and T-TRAK.
This man has an inventory of 36 NTRAK modules. I bet you there's a lot of NTRAKers exactly like you that you're talking to right now.
And I have one built by the late Bill Taunton that was 4 foot by 5 foot. It is a real junction. We've been talking in NRail about junctions. This is a real junction.
Right.
It has 2, you can bring 2 modules here, 2 modules side by side here, and 2 modules side by side here, and it has crossover.
Ray, I'm going to have to kind of cross you because Maggie the Clown is kicking off her performance, and we're not going to hear ourselves think in only 2 more minutes. So I've got one last question.
Okay.
I've asked everyone, what was your favorite NTRAK moment ever? Favorite scene, favorite module?
Well, it was the late Dick Brown on the Valley NTRAK. He built dinosaurs, and he built tunnels for the trains to go through, so the kids could see the dinosaurs, and he had one of the flying ones.
All right.
And he 3D modeled N-scale dinosaurs, and you didn't see the trains.
Okay. And you loved that. That was really impressive
That's
to you.
still for kids. We have to get kids in the hobby.
You hear that? Ray says we need to get kids in the hobby, and the way to do that is how?
Is like, we have those mini dioramas now that the North Texas T-TRAK building.
Right.
I'm starting with that, and I was with Scouting, and we did the regular single.
Right.
We have to, I'm 72 years old, we need kids.
We need to get younger, and we are getting younger every year. And we're going to be interviewing some other folks who are part of our T-TRAK. They're also part of Fremo N. And I'll be honest, we see more younger faces every year, don't we?
We have right now over there a 11-year-old that's running. He started at about 6 or 7 with Bay, and he's running now his own train to his own module.
That's fantastic. Ray, last word. How are we going to wrap up? What would you like to say to the NRail world?
Let's just put it this way. We got a good chance we'll get the $5 special. Is, again, support NRail because they're going to support you. Thanks to JM here and Brett behind the camera. We're doing a lot of publicity, and we're trying to get everybody, the Fremo, the T-Trackers, and the N-Trackers all involved in NRail.
NRail starts right now, 2023 to 2073, 100 years of NRail. Join today.
50 years.
It's 50 years right now. From 2023 to 2073, we're starting
50
right now to get to 100.
100.
Absolutely. World of NRail, thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.